Coming to you from the heart of Ventura County here in Oxnard, California. Welcome to Real VC, a podcast all about real estate in Ventura County. My name is Reed Fish. I am the CEO of Upmarket Media, and I'm so happy my co-host Katie Connolly, Assistant Team Leader at Keller Williams, West Ventura County, is here as well.
Hey guys, thank
Hello. You know, it wouldn't be a show if we didn't have our producer Chelsea Froelich here.
Hey.
Oh,
I'm here.
We have
we have a guest.
Once again, it's not just the three of us. We have a guest.
We have a guest today.
It's a banger guest right
yes.
now.
So today we have the hyper local one and only realtor with Keller Williams, West Ventura County. So you feel right at home here, Mr. Sean O'Toole. Welcome.
Yeah.
Fake round of applause.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So I know. So we were talking about Sean, and I'm going to let you ask the question. But like you just said, this guy is known for this, and
I feel like Sean, and I can't wait for you to elaborate on this. I feel like you just make it look so easy. Like you're never stressed out. Like if I didn't sell real estate, I'd want to sell real estate by watching you do it. So how do you reflect on that?
Well, thank you for the compliment. I mean, it's definitely, real estate's, it's always complicated and, challenging, but really part of I think my approach to it is trying to make everyone feel comfortable. And, I learned that serving tables at the Chart House many years ago, up on the hillside. And I was real stressed out, running around in circles, and a server came up to me and said, "Hey, you need to relax. Even if everything's falling apart in the back end, the food's not ready. If you're acting busy, they're gonna the guests are automatically gonna think that everything's late and that your food's gonna be cold and it's your fault. But if you're just really relaxed and going through the motions, everyone's gonna think that you have it in control and." It's a better experience. So.
I'm definitely buying what you're selling. Cause like I said, you make it look easy. So that person was right. And I know firsthand, as does everyone in this room, that real estate is not easy. So thank you for that. That's a good tip.
Well, and maybe is part of the way it seems easy is I feel like you're known also for doing stuff at the beach, and the beach just exudes cool, easy stuff, right? And so are you cultivating that vibe, because you sell at the beach, or because you have that vibe, you sell at the beach?
Well, it's definitely part of the beach lifestyle. I mean, you're not selling this isn't selling property down in, Santa Monica, and it's very high, high pressure, high everything, sitting in traffic. I mean, Ventura is known for the chill lifestyle, which is what, attracts many people to our area. So I just do my best to, approach people with that, and kind of always look back on the more relaxed you are, the better the transaction's going to flow. And whether that's talking to the other agents or that's dealing with your clients, or, like
stuff.
different parts of the escrow is falling apart. You just got to be there, and you just got to communicate, and you got to, just make sure everyone's fully understanding and just do it as calm as possibly. So that's cool. Not many people have told me that. So I appreciate you saying that and thinking of that. So.
Yeah. And then, going back to hyper local, and I know you talked about traffic there for a second, you are hyper local and literally live, work, play in a very small trifecta. So does that probably aids in your lack of stress when it comes to externally looking stressful from things too. That's everyone's ideal, right?
You'd be surprised how many miles a year I put on my car. but it is true. I could ride my bike to work or walk to work. And then, when my daughter's old enough, she's going to go to Pierpont Elementary, and it's right there, and I can walk to the office, and eateries all over the place. So, I truly could create like a little bubble, but so much of the business isn't specifically the beach. So,
right.
I'm all around.
You wouldn't say to put it in, and I'm not a realtor, so I don't always know all the terms, but that's not your farm. Is your beach area where you live, or is it?
That's where I'm doing my best to make that my, my focus, my,
you and 100 other people.
Yeah.
Right?
It definitely is, it's busy down there, and everyone wants the beach business because it is a great market.
Right.
And, I think that was part of my real reasoning for, investing in the community down there and renting out an office right there on the corner, is to develop that long game that, people recognize my name, people recognize the office. The office, So
where is your office? So you have your own office?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
So I'm on the corner of Pierpont and Seaward.
Oh, okay.
It was Helen Yunker Realty for many years, which is a very well-respected real estate, brand company down at the beach for many, many years. And, Helen brought Pierpont into the city. It was all county, unincorporated for many years. So she's not with us any longer, but her legacy definitely lasts. And, taking over that location was a privilege. So it's definitely an exciting part of my business to be able to be there. And
right. And so then what do you do? So you have the office, and is it just you, or you have a team, right?
Yeah, I have a team. So right now, Brooke Weiner, who's an incredible agent.
I've met Brooke, actually.
Yeah, she's probably in her, mid to late 20s. She's actually got a degree in real estate, and she's, grown up in Ventura and just knows everybody. And her father is one of the best surfboard shapers in the country. So, it kind of fits really well with the whole beach idea.
That's cool,
But she's part of the team. She's amazing. She continues to impress me with not only her, work ethic, but how she approaches deals, clients, marketing, all that. So I also, in my office, I got Jim Wick, who's a legendary beach agent. He was with Helen Yunker for 25, 30 years.
Cool.
Maybe more, like 40.
Yeah.
I mean, his DRE number is 000, before all that.
It's like on a stone pad.
Yeah.
So you do have a small team, and so but you are the team leader de facto, I suppose. I mean, or you all just, was it more of a collective?
It's more of a collective. We don't really define it specifically in terms of hey, we are a group because there's a group of us, and everyone participates in different ways. But, ultimately it's just putting people in that office and in my world that I like to be around. And, they fit the bill. And I've got another great agent, Sean Steen, who's a local physician. And he's got his real estate license. He works out of that office with me too.
So what's the benefit then? So if you aren't the team leader, but what is the benefit then of having the team? I mean, why did you want to do it that way?
Well, there's a lot of benefits. I think just power in numbers, when you're working with different people, whether it be collaborating on marketing efforts, whether it be hosting events. I mean, we'll host events at the office, just brainstorming and also covering for each other. If I got to go, away for a week on a family vacation or something, having support, that's maybe even above and beyond Keller Williams. Keller Williams is great for that. But having people you're daily interacting with and you can trust and rely, and, having, just that synergy, I think is important.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. If you if you can go away for a week as a realtor, I mean, that's good job.
A very successful person once told me, and I'll always remember this, a team will always outperform an individual, which is a very, ambiguous, fun statement. But they gave the reference that 5 high school basketball players they would still beat LeBron all day. Because it's 5-1,
right?
And
that makes sense.
So it's interesting to think of it. Yeah, you can't be 10 places at once,
and you can specialize more. I mean, if someone's really good, at one thing,
right?
Also on the team is my brother. My brother Casey. He's up in Santa Barbara, and his specialty is marketing. So even though he's not really the face of the O'Toole Group per se, he's definitely on the back end doing some incredible marketing, and does a lot of the stuff that I don't understand.
Oh, okay. But then we should have him on the podcast to talk about marketing.
He'd be really good on the podcast about marketing. You guys would be impressed.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, you're inviting marketing people on your marketing show, so I was a little caught off guard.
Yeah.
He doesn't take photos, that I can tell you.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, and that's the photos are just one aspect of marketing. So, it's we have to, we want to learn about all the stuff on here.
We do.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about this kind of crazy year that we came out of, and then now we're deep into Q2 of 2024? How are you feeling out there?
I'm a lot more optimistic. I mean, last year was pretty brutal, I think, for most people. Just agents, consumers, everyone just trying to get their bearing, and I think we finally hit a spot where people have adjusted to the interest rates. So you're seeing a lot of this entry level foundational type market being very strong and kind of building on our market. Cause every time a low end property sells, odds are that person's buying something, one step above that. And then that person. So really, I think it works its way up the market. And I'm seeing a lot of activity in the low end right now. My last couple listings that have been, in the 6s and 7s have gone pretty quick with multiple offers, which is to me the foundation of what's the market's going to be.
Yeah.
Right. So there still is a low end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I mean, what?
Well, it's all relative, though,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. But you are still seeing stuff in the sixes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those people then did move up, and those people then did move up. Did you notice that? Or did they get out of California?
One of them is leaving California for work, and the other one's it's a move up situation. So
yeah, I feel like for us, like, you know, now that we're recording this will come out a little after we're recording it. So we're recording this in April still, mid-April. And I think that in our bookings, because we're kind of see the leading edge of it, right? We're like, hey, what's on our schedule for the next couple of weeks? And it's been good. It's been strong. I think, like, in terms of the number of shoots we're doing, it's still not going gangbusters, but people are also doing a lot more services. And I think my take is that it's because properties are sitting on the market a little longer. And so people feel like they need more marketing materials for the properties. Although, you know, but like we said, I like I've said many times on this podcast, you know, we really market realtors more than real estate, but I think the realtors are seeing a need to have more marketing materials for themselves. But I am going to be curious to, you know, as we have this, July 1st magical date of when the proposed settlement goes through, is if we are going to see a lull before that, if people are going to kind of wait to put stuff on the market until they really see how that shakes out. It'll just be interesting to see. I just don't know. And so I'm definitely, you know, squirreling away a few dollars for that in case things do slow down. But I feel pretty confident. I mean, I think I've been reading the tea leaves, and it feels like the conversations I've had with realtors are kind of that. It's like they're optimistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure in my mind if that settlement's going to affect the activity. It's going to affect the conversations, for sure.
Right.
And I think there's going to be a period of time where people are just trying to figure this out,
right?
Whether it be the realtors or the consumers. And I just hope there's some really clear guidance from the top coming down to us, rather than let's just throw a cherry bomb in this and let's get this figured out. You know,
and I think that is going to be it. It's communicating to homeowners of what this actually means, because if you've read some of the things about the thing and you're a homeowner, you're like, well, if I sell after July 1st, I'm only going to have to pay, you know, way less than I would pay now, which I don't think is the case. And so, you know, they just needs to be communicated to them.
Right. And hope the banks get on board too.
Right.
That's the main thing. If the banks don't understand it, I mean, I think they'll figure it out. Right.
There's a lot at stake. I think. I think there's a lot of incentive to figure it out.
Like the money multiplier of real estate in our country is incredible. So it's like if they mess this up, it could really hurt the economy.
Sure.
So
I do want to talk a little bit about having sort of an expertise in your area, right? Like as Katie was getting at, it's like, you know, you live at the beach, you try to do a ton of business at the beach. I mean, when you're presenting yourself to potential clients, potential listings, especially, I think, are you really leaning into being that neighborhood expert, that lifestyle expert that, like, hey man, this is what I live and breathe. So let me help you on this
lifestyle
journey.
expert is good. Yeah. I like that.
There's no question when you're selling like luxury location, you're selling the lifestyle. I mean, you can go inland 15 minutes and get 4 times the house that's newer and nicer for way less than half, maybe a third the price.
Right.
So you're definitely selling like, hey, yeah, you know, if you're buying on the lanes, you're walking down to the end of the lane, having a glass of wine, watching the sunset.
Right.
If you're selling the hill, hey, how many places in the world are you able to sit and watch the sun go down over the islands?
Right.
Any islands.
Right.
You know, if you're selling the keys, like the Ventura keys, the boat dock homes, you know, how many places in California can you have a boat in your backyard and be at the islands in 25 minutes, 30 minutes and enjoy nature like that? So you really do, you just got to kind of dig into that and then, you know, present the area, not only like the history of it, but also like the future and like what you see happening there. And, you know, I think people see a lot of potential in Ventura being so close to LA, being so close to Ojai, you know, all that. So it's,
well, and so, but how far do you take it? Do you show up to a listing appointment like in flip flops?
No. You know, you always try to gauge the situation. You always, you know, from what I've always understood, you want to dress like one step above whatever your client is. You don't want to make them feel awkward and show up in like a suit.
Right.
You know, so depending on who the seller is, if I don't know them personally, which, you know, frankly, most of the time, you know, these people personally on some level or their referral. So you have an idea, but if not, I'm researching. I'm like, hey, you know, let me learn about this person a little bit before I go in there, so you can
Right.
talk to them.
You want to meet them where they are and
make them
have
feel
it,
comfortable. You know, if they're not comfortable, you're not getting the listing.
Right.
That's so smart.
Yeah, that's
Google
good
your
advice.
clients. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta let that smartness sink in a little bit. So we're gonna take a little break. We'll be back with our social media sidebar. Then we're gonna talk about marketing, and then we are gonna end it. I mean, Sean, he gave me he has a little glint in his eye. He was looking at me when I said the word action item. He's like, oh, yeah, I got an action item. I got a good one. So we're gonna hear that at the end of the show. We'll be right back.
Social media sidebar time.
Oh, yeah.
Katie Connolly here. If you want to find out more about me and my silly lifestyle, a little bit of real estate, a little bit of family, you can find me on Instagram at Katie0024. My LinkedIn's always good, Katie Connolly, as is my Facebook. Reed, where can we find you?
I have all those. I have a personal LinkedIn if you want to. I think we might end up talking about LinkedIn here in a minute, but I don't do anything on it. I mean, I just sitting there looking handsome. You know, that's all I do.
That could work.
And then, but more importantly, you should be following upmarket.media on Instagram. We also have a Facebook iteration. That's where you're going to find social media about this show and about our real estate media business, which if you don't follow, Sean, you should follow us if you don't, because we're always posting all these cool places that we get to shoot all around Ventura County. So it's quite the ride.
I definitely follow you guys.
Oh, good.
You have to, right? Because that's inventory coming up. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't, many a time I see a drone in the air and I just start trying to track it in my car and I try to figure out where that drone's going. Oftentimes it ends up with you guys. So.
It's always us.
And people like if they see us out in front of a house, man, it's over.
Dead giveaway.
It's over. It's
That's
over.
funny.
Well, Sean, where can we find you?
So my Instagram is Sean _O'Toole _realtor. I've also got the O'Toole Group Real Estate on Instagram. Facebook is the O'Toole Group. We've got a group page, and then my personal, Facebook, and then LinkedIn.
So you were saying that before. So LinkedIn, you feel like is where it's at.
You've got to do all of them, right? And I've, in the last few years, maybe more like 5 years, have just really kind of dug into LinkedIn and tried to understand the value in it. Because almost every realtor is doing Instagram, Facebook, all of those. And, LinkedIn, everyone's got a job or is looking for a job.
Right.
So you've already got this like echelon of people you want to be in front of because they're actively working. And, like a lot of people, some people that aren't on LinkedIn enough, there's a lot of good information that you miss on there. A lot of like business type stuff that on Facebook gets really diluted because there's so many like, okay, great, it's a nice vacation, or like check this out.
It's just so many
Or
suggested
what I
posts
think,
or whatever,
like opinions. It's very Facebook is very opinion oriented.
But people oftentimes go on LinkedIn when they're changing careers, moving locations. So these are like for realtors. It's a great time. It's a great place to be in front of people on.
Right.
That's true.
And in terms of targeting, I mean, all the algorithms for Facebook continues to take away our ability to target market. And every time you're talking to a seller, it's like, well, where are we going to find our buyer? So LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to kind of really hone in on different groups of people. I mean, you can be searching, physicians in a 50-mile radius who have moved jobs in the last 90 days who are like, you can actually use their search criteria to kind of really hone in on good buyers,
Wow.
If you're listing a property in Port Hueneme, anyone that's got military experience within a 50-mile radius. If you're listing anywhere near a base. If you're listing a property near, Sansom Clinic up in Santa Barbara or Cottage, great. Let's just hit out everyone that we know or connected to through that hospital that wants to live and work near Cottage.
Okay, and so once you find them, but you have that list of people, what are you doing with that information? Then are you able to put ads on LinkedIn, or how are you working that?
So there is a secret sauce.
Okay, right. Give us the broad flavors of the secret sauce. You don't have to put the ingredients in.
That I'll touch on. But the way my brother and I discovered LinkedIn was we were doing like in-house lunch and learns for different corporations in the area, like Mission Avocado, Procore was one of them. And my brother ended up LinkedIn messaging the CEO at the time of Procore and saying, hey, just wanted to, let you know your campus is beautiful, and I really appreciate you letting us come in to, speak to your employees. And I think they're getting a lot of value out of it. And at the time, we were offering like a 20% like not discount, but we'd offer credit back to anyone that was enrolled in we call that Elevate program, to try to engage that company. And he goes, "Oh, really? Like, it's interesting you're offering that. Like, we should talk because I'm looking to buy a house." And my brother's like, "Wow, well, yeah, let's go get coffee." And then we're thinking about it, and he goes, "Like, we can like message anybody on LinkedIn. You can get the CEO of Disney or whoever you want. I mean, they may or may not actually respond to you, but and they may only check their LinkedIn once every 3 months. But if they're going through messages, you can actually very specifically target people on LinkedIn that you think would be good fit for listings, that you think would be good fit for buyers. Right. And we just create systems where we're reaching out to these people consistently, creating conversations, and then trying to steer those conversations in the direction of like, let's set up like a Zoom conversation. And then after the Zoom, then you meet in the office. So it's definitely produced some good results for us. I mean, it's not like the lion's share of our business by any means. I mean, referral always is, but it's been more effective than anything I've used in the past, any systems. And I've used a lot of them. I mean, we're kind of in the LinkedIn space business. My brother basically does that marketing. That's his full-time job now, is we have a company called MyLink Solution, and he's actually marketing for realtors and insurance agencies and lenders and all these things through LinkedIn, showing them how we do it. And it is work. It is still fishing. You're out there, you're just trying to catch these fish and hit them at the right time. And it's like anything else. But in terms of results on Facebook and Instagram, for us, LinkedIn's been a lot more effective. And I mean, if we put in as much effort on those ones as LinkedIn, maybe, but I just think we're cutting out a lot of the fat on.
Well, there's also less competition on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I've
no
heard of
realtors
anyone else
like
doing that. Yeah,
very
exactly.
few realtors doing. So I mean, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot here.
Well, everyone's doing it on Instagram, and Facebook. So I think we, I always talk about that as like, if there's a leverage point that you have, go for that, right? Because it's just like,
and then you'll
zag when they're zigging.
You'll already be doing it better by the time people start to catch up.
Well, there's that. And like, Facebook's great. And they can look at all your photos of like properties you may have listed in the past. I mean, not everyone's properties you see on there they've listed. But on LinkedIn, they get your resume. They click on you. Here's your resume, you know? So it brings immediate like validation to the thing. Right. So targeting, I mean, there's a million different ways to use it, but I think in general, if you're going to, for me, like my focus is on that.
Right.
Last time we talked about unique value propositions, and that sounds like I would market that for sure. Like, this is my unique value proposition. I understand LinkedIn, and that would be a great way to secure high-end listings, of course. Like, hey, I have access to all of these high-end people.
Yeah, well,
that no one else does.
And our database is incredibly big from our LinkedIn. Because anyone you connect with on LinkedIn, you get their email address. Right. So now you've got two of them. So there's different ways to use it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna go check my LinkedIn inbox to see all the messages from that. I'm sure.
I
Sean's
bet you got
brother.
one from me. I'll put money on it. You got one from me.
All right. And then we're gonna come back. We'll talk a little bit of marketing, and we're gonna end with our action items. All right, it's time for our marketing moment. Isn't that it's such a catchy name, marketing moment? Sean, so I feel like we covered LinkedIn. I mean, what other? And you said referral, of course, is always the number one, right? But are you doing anything else in your marketing that is paying dividends for you?
First and foremost, photos are the most important thing when it comes to
that
like,
is so
I'm
true.
I'm not just pandering to the audience here. Like, it's always, that's kind of the start of it, but then for me, I always have really nice brochures because I've literally gotten listings. People walk in, they go, "Oh my God, this is, I pay like, $2 and some per brochure, but I see a return on it." in terms of marketing, of course, lifestyle videos for more luxury properties, especially if you're trying to target LA, San Francisco, San Diego, you know, like all those areas, you need to be able to kind of show the lifestyle, you know, well, and video is very good for that. Also the Matterport, like the Matterport is
just
very
go
good.
down all of our services. This is great. I love this.
It's
this is fantastic.
but it's, you know, I think it's really good. But one thing though, I really do focus on is other agents. Like I always try to make my broker tours something where people want to go to them with food.
Right. Of course.
You know, getting the agents, trying to keep in front of all the agents, because 9 out of 10, maybe more, maybe 95% of the time, another agent's going to sell the property. So creating those relationships for me has been one of the, you know, things I've focused on for many years, because it helps in every aspect, you know, like more times than not, I'm working with somebody who I know, at least in the Ventura, Ojai, Santa Barbara markets, if we have something going on. So I invest time and effort into making sure that agents are, they're respected. I mean, they're spending their time and their day to come look at your property, and it's going to be front of mind for them if they've got a buyer. So I
have to let you know, your broker tours are memorable. So I've had some homemade chicken noodle soup at one of Sean's houses on a cold, rainy day. And I can remember exactly what the kitchen looked like, exactly what the view looked like. Cause it made me feel some sort of way. Yeah. I did enjoy that. So thank you.
Yeah. So there's things, and there's always the like traditional real estate marketing and I would consider that part more traditional, but you know, some of the more advanced type marketing is going to require, you know, nice photography to be able to, you know, push the listings out through, you know, either, you know, email blasts or whatever target markets you have, or brochures or any of that. I mean, it all starts with photos, and it's the best way to really quickly develop rapport with a seller when you provide good photos. It just sets the stage for them respecting your marketing abilities. So I think it's on my listing presentation, it's like pricing and then like professional photography. So It's, you know, part of the presentation.
Like Reed said, it's going to make you look good too. So when somebody's scrolling through your production, all the pictures are going to look nice. It's not just going to be kind of all over the place. That some of them are good some days if it's an X amount price property, and then on these other ones, it's a little watered down. They're all going to look good to make you look good.
You just always want to remember that you're marketing yourself for, and not even that. I mean, that's the ultimate benefit, not the benefit, but the ultimate thing that happens when you're marketing a property is you're marketing yourself for that next listing, in addition to selling that property. So it's like, it's a reflection on you, and it's, you know, and clearly the way you do business, it's that kind of luxury experience from top to bottom. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, you always do your best to have that white glove service, you know, just so that you get those referrals. You know, people notice, you know, details, you know, like listings. It's not surprising when you get one listing, you get one right near there, and it just kind of like snowballs, because they come in, you know, they check out the open house and it's got like nice music playing, and you might have, you know, a couple of refreshments hanging around, and you're personable, and you've got maybe another agent and a lender there to greet you, and you know, it's just all part of this, you know, just the style of it and how you approach it.
Hold on. You bring lenders to your open houses?
Oh yeah.
Is that common?
I always do. I mean, when I did, I don't like to be there by myself too. And they can answer the money questions.
Right. Yeah. And it's pretty, I mean, there's a lot of lenders. They're always around. They want to go do that.
They love doing them. And they get applications almost out of every open house. Almost every. I mean, especially if they're a little bit like, hey, you know, let's connect, because 50% of the questions when someone's first starting to look for homes are related to the lending. So, you know, you got to have that there. And if there's motivation, there's a lender there, like, let's fill out this app now, and let's get this going. Right. So I can't say I'm at every open house, but especially for the new ones, like if it's like a new listing, that's gonna, I'm like, this is gonna be busy. You get a lender there because they're gonna be able to facilitate, you know.
Right. Oh no, that's really smart. It's just something I'd never thought of, and I guess no open house I've ever been to has had a lender there. Yeah. So there you go.
LinkedIn, lenders at open houses. There's all these like things.
Well, that's why we do these dang podcasts, so we learn stuff. Yeah. God, we're just such learners. Well, now, are you doing any print advertising? I'm always curious about this. If print, because I feel like print is dead, but it's apparently not dead.
You know, circle prospecting is incredibly effective, and you know, circle meaning you're going to mail, you know, half a mile, quarter mile, depends on your budget.
From the listing.
From the listing, just to let them know about the listing. And you're marketing yourself as well as the listing, of course.
Right.
And, most people in the more luxury locations, they've got friends who go, hey, if anything ever comes up in this neighborhood, like, let me know, and you get, so reaching out to them is important. There's certain agents that are doing it well. I think Grant does it well. He's been really hitting it hard. And I'm,
Your buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing him getting some listings down in the area that I want to get more listings. So.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. I'm just, he's doing it well.
Yeah. No, he's a smart guy.
I'm wondering what the future of marketing is going to be. And I think a lot of it's going to kind of go backwards a little bit. I think there's going to be a lot more relationship type, just creating more importance on the relationship and the handshake and the knowing somebody and the, actually understanding that person. Cause with AI and all the technology coming out, I feel like it's just going to get really extreme really fast. And people are, and there's also so many people that don't even like participate in that type of stuff. But I think ROI on the more traditional type real estate approaches is going to go up, and maybe some of the other ones might go down a little bit. So
I always use the analogy, like we get, probably like 150 Facebook happy birthday messages and text messages, but I only get like 5 cards in the mail, and they make me so happy.
You get 5? Wow.
Yeah.
See, people like you.
That's impressive.
Yeah. One's from my insurance agent. They do a really good job. And then of course my grandma. It's,
look at Ashley Anderson. He's like, he handwrites
all
the time.
He was on this podcast, and he sent me a note after that. So
nothing but respect for that stuff, because that stuff takes time.
Oh yeah.
And it means something, even if it is short, you got to give it to them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and the thing is, if you're going to write someone a handwritten note, that means you got to take action, which means it is time for our action items. And you know what? I'm gonna do you guys the favor of going first to give you a little more time to hone your action items. And mine is, I had a different one, but in the course of this podcast, I came up with a new one, which I think is better. And it's get a LinkedIn profile. Because I bet a lot of people do not have them. And in fact, I speak for myself. I did not have a LinkedIn profile until a few months ago, and I haven't really done anything with it. But now I'm, it's a little different as a real estate media person, but still there's a lot of realtors there I could connect with. I could cold DM these people. I can search realtor, and I can maybe I will do that. But the first thing you have to do, the easily actionable step, is just to get a profile.
Sure. I'll go next. Yeah, I got inspired too about just the live, work, play kind of beach lifestyle. And so in this business, we have to be very, mindful and balanced. And so I'm going to tell everyone, since the weather's a little bit nicer, to go put your feet in the ocean.
Oh.
Zen out a little bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Grounding.
Grounding.
Are you on that grounding thing right now? Gotta go put that thing in the dirt and bring it to your bed and ground your bed.
Yeah.
I didn't know all those tips, but now I'm Googling it.
There's Oh, that's an Ojai thing. There's a whole movie. Anyway, I'll fill you in.
My husband calls it earthing.
What?
He makes fun of me when I do that.
Who does?
My husband. He says, "Are you earthing right now?"
But you do that?
In the morning, yeah. I'll have coffee and I'll go put my bare feet in the grass.
It connects you to sometimes.
The earth, which is why he calls it earthing.
Yeah, it is called earthing.
Does it help your day?
It does. Yeah. You should try it.
Probably helps your day too to have
look
A plus Chelsea.
Revelation on Reed's face right now.
Yeah, you get in the ocean. I swear, like, surfing, ocean life is like the fountain of youth. Look at how many surfers you're like, how old are you? And they're in the sun all day, but there's like something, I don't know. I don't know the science behind it, but I kind of believe in it.
It makes you feel grounded and connected to your presence.
Well,
especially in this crazy business and time.
Okay, Katie, Chelsea's second into your action item. I guess you have the best one. I don't know. Let's see, Sean. Can you top it?
Action item. I just think in this industry right now, there's a lot of frustration with the market, with maybe this commission thing. I don't, however that plays out. But I think just take a step back and like believe in real estate. It's when I have a friend whose parents lost a lot of money from a scam. I had this big aha the other day. I'm like, you can't, like, a hacker can't take your property, with all this. And just know the value in it. And I just, that gave me a lot of confidence to, if you're talking to somebody, it's like, no matter what, you got to buy a house. Like this part of like what you have to do to be able to make it these days. That, whether it's investment property or just real estate, like you got to be in the market. And I truly believe that. And I think a lot of agents are kind of like, I don't know, like, yeah, it's a good deal. Is it not? It's like, just buy it. What can you do to buy this house? Because in 10 years, you're going to be thanking me no matter what. There might be, maybe it's, a year or two and things happen and it's frustrating, but like 10 years, 15 years, you're going to be just going, gosh, that's great. So action item is like, if you're having frustration, just take a step back and just understand that real estate is such a incredible investment vehicle. It's a lifestyle. It's everything. So I don't know if there's an action item, but
I heard buy a house, which is the first time that anyone said on their action item, buy a house, which should have been the first one.
Well, no,
so
I
like
mean, it's to help a realtor grow their business. I mean, no, I think believe in real estate. Yeah, I think so. Yes.
I mean, it's because I just think there's hesitation out there right now. It's just,
I mean, it makes sense. LinkedIn, get your feet dirty and believe.
In the water.
And believe. And believe. All right. Hey, Sean
and
O'Toole.
photos.
Yeah, of course. Let's do photos. Let's do great photos.
And great photos.
Yeah. Sean, thank you very much for being on the show. And Katie, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you always.
Oh, yeah. And Chelsea, come on. Yeah.
The Chelsea chime in.
I did.
We need to add
a little
that.
bit here and there.
Exactly. Well, you know what, though? We wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the audience. So thank you to the audience. We really appreciate you listening, going on this journey with us. We got a lot more in store. So we're happy. We're being consistent with this. This is so fantastic. And until next time, we'll be out 2 weeks. Every Tuesday is what we're aiming for. So in 2 weeks, look for another Real VC. Thank you. Real VC is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. We'll be back shortly with a brand new episode, but in the meantime, we hope that all your transactions will be smooth. Thank you for everything.